This is an INGENIUM University podcast.
Welcome to episode 5 of the INGENIUM podcast. The last few episodes have really evolved out of the various conversations Tom and I had and the connections we made during our visit to XAMK's Mikkeli campus in Finland in February of this year, 2025. This then will be the last episode looking back over that experience before we begin to look towards upcoming INGENIUM events, projects and initiatives. In this episode, we speak to Dr Eeva Kuoppala. Eeva is a Finnish expert in European higher education, leadership and pedagogical development. She is the project director for INGENIUM at XAMK, University of Applied Sciences in Finland. Eeva has a particular interest in work-based pedagogy with a focus on collaboration between universities of applied sciences and wider industry. Along the way, we will also briefly hear from some of the staff and students at XAMK who helped make the winter school there such a success. We began by asking Eeva to tell us a little bit about this region of Finland.
It's my pleasure to be here and discuss with you about the INGENIUM and all the great work we are doing together for it. And we are now located in this kind of called Lake District of Finland. So which means that we have a lot of lakes here. And probably, and hopefully you noticed they are now frozen, but so it's a bit difficult to tell that if it's a field or a lake. But that is very typical for this area. And that brings also that we have a lot of summer cottages here in this area. And this is we have the biggest amount of the cottages in this area in Finland. So that brings us this kind of tourists here. So people are coming from the Helsinki area for the weekends and for the holidays. And we have 4 campuses here in XAMK. So we are located in 4 cities and 2 regions. So we have campuses here in Mikkeli and also in Savonlinna. And this area is called South Savo. And then we have 2 campuses in Kymenlaakso region. So we have their Kotka and Kouvola campuses. And we are very multidisciplinary university, so we have maritime education in Kotka, nursing education, and forestry, engineering, just name it.
In your role as INGENIUM Project Director then, I'm sure you've been super busy with the 10 days of INGENIUM event that's been going on here. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about the work involved in organising and coordinating this week here in XAMK?
Yeah, this has been quite a journey, and now we are enjoying the fruits of it, as I may say. We have had a great team. We have about 10 persons core team who have been working for months to organize this event. And now lately we have got also the students to join us. So there are probably around 30 persons in total, the staff members and the students who are working for this week. And we also collaborate closely with the secondary education, vocational secondary education, and which is actually one of the topics of the work package meetings also. And this is one example that we have also the students from the secondary education here to guide the students and the staff to show the way to the right spots. So quite a lot of persons who have participated to this with a good spirit and willing to make this as good week as we can.
Eeva and her team's commitment to their students was particularly evident throughout the week, most noticeably through the students' visible involvement in all aspects of the winter school. Tom caught up with one student, Silja, who played a key role in the opening and closing events, to hear about her experience with INGENIUM.
So I'm Silja Ahokas from Finland, and I'm turning 21. I'm studying business, second year BBA student now at XAMK Kouvola campus.
You've been to the INGENIUM 10 days of INGENIUM in the junior winter school in
summer school.
Summer school.
Yes.
In Romania.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What was it like?
Yes, I went there spontaneously because someone cancelled and my teacher asked if I wanted to join. So I did not know what the whole INGENIUM was, and I was like, yeah, sure, like I get to travel and meet new people, so hell yeah. So I went, and the week was very nice. A lot of studying, a lot of partying and meeting new people.
And how do you find meeting people from different universities?
I absolutely love it. I think that I'm the opposite of a stereotypical Finn. I'm very extroverted, so meeting people from other countries especially is awesome, and you can really learn a lot. And actually, when I was in Romania doing my first INGENIUM, that inspired me to apply for an exchange, and I did, and I'm leaving next week. So.
Okay, you're going to go back to Romania?
No, I'm going to South Korea.
Okay.
But like the part of meeting international people, I was like, okay, yeah, like I want to do like longer exchange, not just a week. Like.
And where are you going in South Korea?
Chuncheon. It's like an hour from Seoul.
Okay.
So.
Well done. Speaking on the workshop I was at earlier, that's courage.
Yep. True.
You excited by it?
Yes, and scared too, but
yeah.
It's courage. So.
Yeah, it's well done for doing that.
Yeah.
And what happened in Romania that you felt?
I don't know, actually, because I did not really know what INGENIUM was about before I went there. And I don't know, I guess, like here now this week, the group, all of us students, we are, I don't know, we just like each other so much, and the community is so good, then.
But something, like you must have, as you said there, with your personality, something must have, you said, you know, I like doing this, I like meeting people.
Yes.
And when you go to South Korea, are you going to another university there, studying?
Yes, it's a normal study exchange for the spring semester, so I'll be back in August.
Okay. Yeah, what cultural activities did you do, for example, there?
We had dinners and the gala dinner, and it was summer school, so we were out a lot. We had treasure hunt in Yash, the city where we were. We had a student festival, a concert one night. It was amazing, like it was for the whole university. There were tons of people out. Yeah,
so you're glad you got in at the last minute spot, the last spot available.
Yes, that was amazing luck that someone cancelled and I got the spot.
Good. So we're here on the XAMK campus for the 10 days of INGENIUM here at the Junior Winter School, and you have a big role to play. I think you were part of the opening ceremony and you did an excellent job.
Yes, thank you.
So well done on that. How have you found it this year now on maybe your own university?
I think it's great. It's totally different, of course, since it's my home country and now it's winter, not summer. So but the thing that is same now, it's different students, but the community and the vibe, vibe is the same. And now we have totally different activities, of course. The winter experience that the students absolutely loved, that one. And tonight is the same, the gala dinner, looking forward to that. And a little bit different, the study part, but still amazing to see the students work in 5-people teams where they're all from different countries. So they really have to, work in an international team. So it really teaches them multicultural teamwork skills.
And how did you find it yourself being part of those groups and getting to know people from the different universities?
It was very nice. I learned a lot. Like before the INGENIUM in Romania, I had no experience in working with international people. So that we were all from different countries. Of course, there are sometimes issues because we're all from different countries, different backgrounds, everything. But after a while, when you get to know each other, then you know what they're good at, and you can take advantage of that. So
we know what you're saying. You get to know people. That you see a kind of relationship there, and you're doing certain activities together.
Yes.
You find kind of a form of community and a bond, which
it's
a big part of probably the INGENIUM. The 10 days of INGENIUM and particularly obviously the Junior Winter School. Earlier we saw you actually recording some videos and speaking to students as part of that were here and have attended so far. What have they said to you about their experiences?
They said a lot of same things that I think. They were super excited to meet so many new people from different countries, and also they absolutely love the winter experience, like I said earlier, and they are looking forward the week to see they all have their own little project, to see how that goes, and they can actually make it happen. So with the real stakeholders, so that is very cool.
Yeah, so you've been working together on these projects that you're now going to present as a group too.
Yes, I'm kind of like a mentor now with like everyone, so if someone needs help they can also like always ask me, but I have this one specific group that I'm kind of more in because they have one student less than the others, so I'm with them most of the time. And yeah, I really like that. Like I said, we have the real stakeholders and they're actual real life cases, so it's very nice. I think it's also motivating the students so they can make an actual difference.
Yeah, they're working on real life case studies and working together as a group and maybe challenging each other to come up with an idea and a concept and present that. What do you think, if there was a student maybe listening to this or watching this and they haven't been to 10 days of INGENIUM, to a junior school, what would you say to them as kind of the highlights or the most positive aspects of it?
I think, of course, it's not possible for everyone to experience it, but as many people as possible, I would say that go for it if they have the chance, 100%, even if they would feel like, I don't know, if a little scared, like I had no idea what I was getting into, but no regrets. So yeah, I would say no matter where you come from and the background, just do it.
So the affordances provided by INGENIUM's Erasmus opportunities have a clear impact, as we heard there in Tom's conversation with Silja. And it was great to hear a bit about the student experience at the winter school there too. Now, back to Eeva to hear more about the idea of work-based pedagogy.
Yeah, and it's been an amazing welcome today, as you mentioned, Tom. And something you kind of hinted at in your address earlier and we were speaking about earlier was the idea of work-based pedagogy. I think you mentioned that that's kind of a focus of what you do here at XAMK. I wonder, how have you brought that work-based pedagogy into what's been going on here at the 10 days?
I could say that that's the core of the Finnish Universities of Applied Sciences, that we work closely with the stakeholders and working life partners. And here in 10 days of INGENIUM, you can see it in our junior schools. We have 5 authentic cases and the students are dealing with the groups. And they have used also this kind of digital platform even before they are having this physical meeting and working session here this week. So this is something that is new for INGENIUM also. And it's been very exciting for me. My background is also from the research of work-based pedagogy, so I was thrilled to see that idea of our main mentor Sabine, who is coordinating that it was a great idea to bring the people together already before the meeting, and not only talking about the students but also the mentors and the stakeholders who are providing the cases. So then there is going to be this kind of learning community. Well, not only the students are the learners, but also the working life partners and the mentors are learning something and developing something together. And we are coordinating in INGENIUM the work package which is about innovative pedagogy and lifelong learning. And obviously you can see it also quite strongly here in our event. So we are having the staff academies as in all other 10 days events. And now we have brought also this kind of education lab concept more strongly involved. So we are presenting also these learning and research environments we have here.
Yeah, and it's great. I presume the idea on the work-based pedagogy, I suppose, probably creates a really authentic learning space for people. I think it's lovely because it's been a key message of the 10 days of INGENIUM already, is a collaboration. So it brings all these people together. So that's obviously one major, really positive aspect of INGENIUM and bringing people together. So Eeva, is there any other kind of benefits you think of when people come together for the 10 days of INGENIUM? What are the benefits or the outcomes?
Well, what I already heard from these 10 days events of the previous editions is that for the students it's definitely this kind of very enlightening experience. I could call this kind of low-level international experience that you can have when you join to this INGENIUM or 10 days of INGENIUM events. And there are some students who have told that after participating to the junior or senior school, they got courage to, for example, apply for exchange or the practical training period to abroad, which I think that it's a great this kind of boost for your courage to act and survive in international context. And it's the same also for the staff members, but then I would like to emphasize this kind of this sharing and learning aspect there even more, because it's about good learning from each other about the good practicalities and pedagogical solutions, and do this kind of research collaboration together, which is obviously very crucial and beneficial for all of us.
And that idea that Eeva just mentioned of staff learning from one another and sharing ideas was also evident on campus, with members of the XAMK team building on ideas gathered at other INGENIUM events and then adding to them to showcase their own ideas and interests. Here's Kati Viljakainen.
I'm here for educational lab experience. So this is the first time that we actually organized this kind of event during the 10 days of INGENIUM. A year ago in Romania, we were asking the Romanians that could we possibly visit their educational labs, and they organized this fantastic tour. And then we were thinking that, okay, now we have to organize something in Finland as well. But we have 4 different campuses in 4 different cities, so we can't actually take all the visitors to visit all the campuses. So that's why we organized this experience here. It's kind of fair that we were bringing all the examples from the different cities and invite them here in Mikkeli. So the INGENIUM guests could see all the possibilities. How do we work in Finland?
That was Kati Viljakainen telling us briefly about that staff-orientated knowledge-sharing piece that is part of these events. Now back to our conversation with Eeva.
And outside, the Vice Rector, Kati earlier on, actually mentioned about kind of the bringing international knowledge, to the region. Outside of the 10 days INGENIUM, what are the main benefits of XAMK to be involved in INGENIUM?
I think that it's this kind of internationalization overall. So obviously being part of it, so we will have this kind of possibilities to be active participant in this kind of community, which I would definitely call it already at this stage. So the benefits relates mostly to this learning and research collaboration.
Thinking about the same question from the other perspective, I guess one of the benefits of a large alliance like this is that each of the universities has their own specialisms and does particular things quite well. I wonder, what does XAMK offer the other INGENIUM partners, what in terms of kind of discipline or specialisms here that people can collaborate with you with?
I would first like to name that we have been quite active partner in a sense, so we are fully committed and try to take most of it, also being working actively together. And obviously I mentioned this kind of pedagogical innovations and aspect. We have a good knowledge regarding that, and obviously we are proud and happy to share it to the others. And then we have this kind, for example, here at the at Mikkeli campus, we have this kind of different kinds of RDE environments. Active Life Lab is one example, which is very interesting for several partners to collaborate. That's just one example. We have many more of those, but it relates to this kind of health and technology aspects, and it's quite modern, and they are doing great research there. So and then we have offered studies for the students, are actively developing new study programs and courses and micro-credentials, which are also in our agenda in INGENIUM. And Well, yeah, there are quite many already, probably.
Yeah, we were actually looking at the health and well-being research earlier on. Some interesting work.
Yeah, that active. You mentioned the Active Life Lab, that Optimus project you have, looking at kind of type 2 diabetes and the focus of that, and trying to support people who are less active to get them more active, and looking at certain measurements of health and biomarkers of health, and even looking at, I think you're getting them to engage, instead of sitting down over a long period of time, engage in activities and looking at the impact of that. So yeah, that's very, very interesting research, and you're obviously bringing that expertise and innovation and knowledge to the INGENIUM project, which I think is great.
Something else that you mentioned in your opening address this morning was how you're interested in and trying to engage with the wicked problems of our time. And you mentioned climate change is one of those. Can you tell us maybe a bit more about your experience, if it's evident maybe here in Finland, and maybe the kind of work that you do in this area in XAMK? Maybe it's more around sustainable development. I'm not quite sure, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, as I mentioned, that we have in past years we have made quite an effort to make our organization even more sustainable. So, for example, our restaurants have these certificates, this kind of sustainable label. In a sense, we have in Finland this kind of Joutsenmerkki, it is called. So if their processes are sustainable, so then the restaurants can apply it. So there is this kind of checking list, and if you pass it, so you are getting this kind of label. And we have even full-time coordinator to taking care of these kind of processes, that we are actually following the sustainable guidelines and principles that we have done here at the XAMK. So, as I mentioned, that it's not only this kind of environmental aspect, but we understand also this kind of well-being of students and staff, and that kind of sustainability issues which are important too, that our processes are transparent and fair and so on. And obviously this recyclings and everything, so we try to take it into account in all of our activities, and you can see it also in our study programs, which they also need to take it into consideration there when they are teaching, for example, nurses, that how you recognize the spots that there might be some non-ecological choices there, and don't use them, but through it you try to do it as sustainable as you can.
Yeah, and that's an interesting and complex example, because of course in health and medicine there's hygiene requirements, so you have to, some things have to be disposable, but there's always possibilities where things can be recyclable or reused. So yeah, it's an interesting and complex one.
Yeah, so we kind of talked about some of the benefits, I think, of being involved in INGENIUM, and what you guys bring, I suppose, what XAMK bring to the INGENIUM project as well. So maybe from the other side, the challenges that each institution have is probably, very unique and individual. So maybe from your perspective, what have been some of the challenges for XAMK involved in INGENIUM?
We have 2 years behind now. And now I can say that we are quite known, for example, if I think this university. So I think that the challenge at the beginning is, as in any case, that how to get the people to know that what we are doing, and what's the use of it, or what's the benefit. So that is something that we have worked a lot for this beginning. But now I think that it's much more known now inside the university. Actually, much more known, because I know this, that it begins to be, INGENIUM begins to be in the this kind of everyday discussions, or in the unit's goals, or ways to achieve the internationalization, which I was very happy to know this when I was listening the directors of our university. So they were mentioning the INGENIUM nearly in every unit. So I think that this kind of challenge of getting this thing known among the staff and the students have been one challenge at the beginning, but it seems to be even at some point tackled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like that you're making steps and you're getting closer to that point where people on the ground and student staff know exactly about INGENIUM and the benefits of it and the reason why you're involved in it, I suppose.
And I think it's the same at our institution as well. It's becoming more and more visible, more people know about it. There's a new bunch of students here this year, and
Yeah, because and as well, we need the people. You need the people involved and to know about it. So that's really important that we all, take time and have a clear focus of the work that we're trying to do.
Yeah. And I guess linked to that then, maybe, so that's kind of touching on the challenges, maybe back to the benefits then. I guess you've touched on some of them already, but I guess direct mobility between students and staff is an obvious one. Maybe can you speak a little bit to that, or are there any other benefits or tangible kind of benefits that you've noticed?
Yeah, definitely. I think that this mobility is one of these most tangible benefits for the students and also for the staff. So these junior and senior schools, they are great opportunities to students to get to know about each other cultures and learn together. And then I've noticed that these blended intensive programs called BIPs have obviously, somehow risen there also. So these kind of short-term mobilities, as we call them, so they beginning to be quite popular as far as I've understood. Actually, we are organizing one also in our Kotka campus in summertime for the INGENIUM staff about simulation pedagogy. Again, we are getting into this pedagogy aspect, but it was very popular too. So we had quite many applicants there. But yeah, these kind of short-term mobilities seems to be quite useful for the students, and they are easy to access. But of course, we would like to have also these kind of long-term mobilities even more, and that is something that we need to still work on to get the students to study a bit longer too. And I think that that's this kind of shared goal of us all.
Yeah, so shared courses and BIPs and things like that are opportunities for that.
Yeah.
I think it's lovely. I know you've mentioned pedagogy, so so many times in the conversation already, but I think that's really important because it puts the student kind of at the centre all the time, and everything around that is kind of student focused and student centred. So I think that's a really important message, that we keep the student at the centre. Yeah. Eeva, for students and staff, I suppose, listening from your university, how can students and staff, if they're on the ground here listening and they want to get involved, how would you recommend that they get involved?
Well, obviously, these mentioned schools, so that is very good possibility for the students. So we are opening the calls, and again, we're trying to do everything very transparent, so that we have these open calls for the students to enroll or apply for, and then we select the ones that who are going to be participating. So those are the ones, and then obviously the Staff Academy, the next 10 days is just behind the corner in May already. So we are launching the calls quite soon after this winter's edition. And then obviously we have this kind of joint research project calls and education lab project calls for the staff. So following this kind of and applying for these different kinds of calls that we are launching. So that is my advice. Yeah,
and you mentioned the importance of staff kind of getting involved and finding out what's going on in INGENIUM and applying for these projects. To flip that, if I'm listening to this podcast, Eeva, from another university, and I'm thinking of how could I collaborate, what advice would you give to the other universities to engage with yourselves here?
You're more than welcome. we are happy to have different kind of contacts, and I'm doing this full time, so you can always ask from me, so I can tell or give you another names, so I can help you with this in this contacting. And regarding the research collaboration, the Italians have done this great Connect portal where it's possible to search the researchers from other universities of INGENIUM, so that is quite useful too. And we have coordinated that education lab information to the INGENIUM website, so that's also the possibility to find that what kind of education labs in different INGENIUM universities have. So that those would be these kind of good ways to start to scan that what the other partners are doing, and would there be any this kind of collaboration possibilities. But yeah, I'm happy to be contacted, and I can help forward.
Yeah, that's great, and we can put a link to that portal.
Yeah, the Connect portal, and even your LinkedIn maybe, and an email address as well.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that people do have a point of contact in the first instance, and as you said there, people then can be signposted to the right people from there, you know. No, just one other thing to ask, just thinking about, I suppose, the 10 days of INGENIUM, the work that's gone into it, and we can already see the fruits of that, I suppose. What do you think would make this week a success from your point of view?
Yeah, well, we got through of this official or academic offering, but beside that, we also have this winter experience coming, which is, I've heard, that quite interesting and exciting for many of us. So we will have the possibilities to enjoy the Finnish winter activities, and also the sauna, obviously, and if you are bold enough to go to the ice swimming there. And so we have this the students who have organized the activities there. So this is also as a part of the study there, this kind of community pedagogics. So it's easily part of the education too. So they are organizing us quite nice program there.
Yeah, and myself and Jeremiah hope to go to the winter experience tomorrow. So Eva, we will report back after Jeremiah goes ice hole swimming, and I'll go to the sauna. Yeah, we'll agree to that.
Yeah.
And I can confirm that both Tom and I did jump in the frozen lake and go to the sauna. So that was a really great experience. So that was Eva, Silja and Kati, all from XAMK. And many thanks to all three of them for taking the time to speak to us and for their hospitality while we were visiting. Our next episodes then will begin to look forward to the upcoming 5th edition of the 10 Days of INGENIUM, which will take place in May 2025, which will take place in Crete in Greece and Chieti Pescara in Italy. So we look forward to speaking to our INGENIUM partners from Greece and Italy in the upcoming episodes.